There are moments in life when you don't just need advice. You need a shift that is not only physical, but spiritual. We often wait for blessings to arrive, for miracles to manifest, for answers to fall into our hands, yet we forget something important. God moves where faith is prepared to receive Him. Today I want to speak to you about something that might seem simple, perhaps even ordinary, but when done with intention and understanding, it can transform the spiritual atmosphere of your home. Salt. Yes, salt. Not as seasoning, not as a mere mineral, but as a spiritual key. You see, in ancient times, salt was more than flavor. It was covenant. It was preservation. It was a sign of purity, protection, and enduring faith. It was placed with reverence, used with intention, and understood as a reminder that what God blesses cannot be corrupted. And so I ask you, what if there were places in your home right now, silent corners and unguarded spaces that have been allowing the wrong energy to linger? What if the peace you pray for has been delayed, not because God is not listening, but because your home has not been spiritually aligned to receive it? I am going to show you 5 sacred places where salt, placed with prayer and faith, can open the door for God to move powerfully in your life. Not superstition, not ritual for the sake of ritual, but a physical act of faith, a declaration that says, this home is under divine covering. If you will stay with me until the very end, you will not just hear these 5 places, you will understand why they matter. You will learn how something so small can shift the atmosphere, guard your blessings, and invite miracles into your daily life. But this will require your full attention, not half listening, not hearing with your ears while your mind is elsewhere. Because what I'm about to share with you is not for the curious, it's for the ready heart, the ready spirit, the ready believer. So take a deep breath, still your thoughts, and open your heart. Because by the end of this message, you will never look at salt or your home the same way again. Salt has been with humanity from the very beginning of civilization. We have fought wars for it, traveled oceans to find it, and treasured it as if it were gold. But beyond its earthly value, salt carries a weight in the spiritual realm that most people overlook. In the scriptures, salt is not mentioned casually. In Leviticus, it is called the salt of the covenant with your God. It is a reminder of a promise, a sign that the relationship between you and the divine is preserved, enduring, unbreakable. In the ancient world, when 2 people wanted to seal an agreement that could not be broken, they would share salt. Why? Because salt does not decay, it does not rot, it endures. This is why when you place salt in your home, not just as a household item, but as an act of faith, you are declaring, this home belongs to God, and no corruption can take root here. Salt purifies. It absorbs, it preserves, In the spiritual sense, it draws out what is unclean and holds fast what is pure. Think of your home as more than walls and a roof. It is a vessel that carries your life's energy, your prayers, your struggles, your victories. Just like food left unattended can spoil without salt, a home left spiritually unguarded can allow negativity to grow unnoticed. Words spoken in anger can linger in the air. Silent resentments can settle into the corners. Spiritual heaviness can rest upon rooms where joy used to dwell. Salt, placed with intention, is a silent guardian. It does not make noise, it does not demand attention, yet it works day and night, quietly holding the spiritual frequency of your home at a higher level. It reminds you daily that your covenant with God is not confined to a church building. It covers your household, your family, and even the ground beneath your feet. But salt without intention is just salt. It becomes powerful only when placed with understanding and prayer. You must speak over it, you must bless it, you must declare its purpose before you set it in place. This is not about superstition. This is about alignment, aligning a physical element with your spiritual faith so that what is seen in the natural reflects what is established in the unseen. When you understand salt as a covenant, you stop treating it as common. You begin to honor it. You hold it in your hand and see it for what it truly is, a symbol of God's preserving grace. And when that grace covers your home, what can decay? What can destroy? What can break in where God has sealed? So before we even speak of the first place to put it, remember this truth. It is not the salt that changes your life. It is your faith, expressed through the salt, that opens the door for God to move. The salt is a tool. Your belief is the power. And together, they become a shield over your home that no darkness can penetrate. Every home has a threshold, the place where the outside world ends and your sanctuary begins. It is more than wood, more than hinges, more than a welcome mat. Your doorway is a spiritual border. It is the first and last line of defense for everything that enters and leaves your home. Think about it. Every person who steps across it brings with them an energy, a presence. Some bring peace, some bring joy, but others bring burdens, frustrations, and silent storms you cannot see. The doorway is the place where blessings enter, but also where troubles can creep in if you do not guard it. In ancient times, before the walls of a city were considered secure, the gates had to be fortified. A weak gate meant a vulnerable city, no matter how tall the walls were. The same is true for your home. You can pray in every room, you can decorate with beauty, you can keep it clean, but if your doorway is spiritually unguarded, it is like leaving your gate wide open for anything to walk in. Placing salt at the entrance is not a decoration, it is a declaration. It says, only what is pure, peaceful, and aligned with God's will may enter here. It is like drawing an invisible line that no darkness can cross. Before placing the salt, stand at your doorway, look outward, imagine everything that has passed through, conversations, emotions, spirits. Then with quiet authority, speak over the salt in your hand. Lord, let this be the boundary of your protection. Let everything that crosses this line be covered by your light. Let nothing unclean pass through without being transformed. Sprinkle it gently along the threshold, inside and outside. It is not about quantity. It is about clarity of purpose. One pinch placed with unwavering faith carries more power than a handful scattered in doubt. From that moment, your doorway becomes more than a passage. It becomes a gate of blessing. When friends come, they carry peace into your home. When family arrives, they feel the embrace of warmth before you even greet them. Even when challenges try to approach, they lose their strength at the threshold because the covering of God stands guard. Most people wait until trouble has already entered before they start fighting it. But wisdom builds protection before trouble arrives. Salt at the doorway is not about reacting, it is about preparing. It is a silent warrior that stands watch day and night, so that when you pray for God's blessings, the path is already clear for them to enter without resistance. When we look at a room, our eyes are often drawn to the center, the space where life happens. We notice the table, the chairs, the windows, but the corners are quiet. They are places we rarely think about, spaces where dust gathers slowly and shadows linger unnoticed. In the spiritual realm, corners often represent the hidden areas of our lives, the places we ignore, the memories we bury, the emotions we do not speak of. And just as physical dust gathers in corners if we do not clean them, spiritual heaviness can gather there if we do not address it. Sometimes it is because the unseen has settled quietly into the places we do not touch. Energy, like air, collects in pockets, and the corners of your home can hold what the rest of the room has forgotten. This is why placing salt in the corners is more than symbolic. It is strategic. Salt draws out what is impure. It preserves what is good. When you place it in the corners, you are saying, even the hidden places of this home belong to God. You are declaring that there is no room, no shadow, no quiet space where darkness can hide. Take a small bowl or pinch of salt in your hand. Stand in each corner. Do not rush. Breathe. Look at the space before you and speak. Every hidden heaviness, every unspoken pain, every silent curse, be dissolved now. This corner is filled with light. This corner belongs to the Lord. Sprinkle the salt gently, as if you are planting something, because in truth you are. You are planting a seed of peace, a reminder that even silence can be sanctified. Many people focus on the visible areas of their life, the parts they show the world. But the corners, the unseen spaces, often hold the keys to breakthrough. Because what is hidden has the power to either anchor you or release you. And when you cleanse the hidden, you set the entire space free. When every corner is touched by His light, strongholds have nowhere left to hide. Chains that once wrapped silently around your blessings begin to break. And suddenly, the peace you have been praying for has room to settle, not just in the middle of your home, but in every edge, every wall, every corner. Every home has a place where your heart feels most at rest. For some, it is a chair by the window. For others, it is a small corner with a candle, a Bible, and silence. This is your prayer space, the ground where heaven meets earth in your life. When you kneel there, you are not just speaking words into the air. You are creating a meeting point between your spirit and the Spirit of God. And the environment of that space matters. If the doorway is your gate of blessing and the corners are your hidden strongholds, then your prayer space is your holy ground. It is the place where your faith grows roots, where your tears are gathered, and where your victories are often birthed long before you see them. This is why adding salt here is not simply about protection, it is about amplification. Salt, in the natural world, intensifies flavor. In the spiritual sense, it intensifies presence. It becomes a silent invitation for God's nearness to linger longer, for your prayers to rise unhindered, for your heart to remain sensitive to His whisper. Take a small dish or pouch of salt, something that feels sacred to you. Do not scatter it carelessly. Place it with reverence. Before you set it down, hold it in your hands and pray, Lord, let this salt be a sign that this space belongs to you alone. May every word spoken here carry weight in the heavens. May every tear that falls here water seeds of breakthrough. May this ground remain holy as long as this home stands. When you do this, something changes, not just in the atmosphere, but in you. Every time you return to that space, you will feel it. The peace will come quicker. The distractions will fade faster. The moment you sit or kneel, your spirit will shift into a posture of connection because the ground has been prepared. The space has been set apart. Over time, your prayer space will start to feel heavier, not with burden, but with presence. It will be as if the air itself has become thicker with peace. Visitors may not know why, but they will feel something the moment they step near it. That is the residue of God's presence, drawn, welcomed, and kept alive by a heart that knows how to prepare the ground. And when your home carries such a space, the rest of your rooms begin to change. Peace spreads. Anxiety finds no resting place. Miracles no longer feel distant. They become part of the daily rhythm of your household. Because in the end, salt in your prayer space is more than a symbol. It is a declaration that this home will always be a place where God is not only invited, but expected.